Welcome everyone to Painting on the Patio. My name is Keith Tolan and we're outside, so you may hear some traffic going by, you may hear some birds, crickets, who knows, but we're outside on the patio and we're going to do some portrait painting working with acrylic paint. I want to thank you for joining us here, and well, I want to thank many people that helped to put this together, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But right now we want to go ahead and get started with the painting process. And the first step in this process is getting your material together. For me, I think the key to painting, and this may differ for other people, but for me is the brush. And I use a variety of brushes. I like certain brush width. I like small brushes. I like sometimes larger brushes, but I think brushes are the key. And then the second important part for me, I think, is the surface that you're working on. Canvas, paper. There's a wide variety of different materials that you can work on as far as the surface quality, depending on what type of texture and what type of technique you'd like to use. I'll be frank, in most cases when I'm painting, I don't work from an easel upright. A lot of times, to be honest, here's my secret, I work with my paintings flat. But for today's session, we're going to be using a model. So we're going to work from an easel with the surface upright. And so as I prepare my surface and working with acrylic paint, I'm probably going to revolve from two different surface types. I'm going to start with a white canvas, and in working with acrylic, I'm going to take the white canvas and add some color to it. So I've got my palette here with my paints on it, and my first step here is going to be to just get some paint onto the surface. And I'm not really concerned about color, even though color is a really big factor in my work. I like working with color, but right now I just want to have a base. I think the paint will stick to other paint a lot easier. So this gives me something, in my opinion, for my paint to adhere to other paint. So, oops, little fingers here. I'm going to continue to just build up my surface, build my background. And it's almost like stacking blocks, working from the back to the front. And I may even mix a few colors here. Over the years, I've gotten to where I like to work with a dark surface and then work with my mediums and then add my highlights. So I just want to get some paint on the surface, build my background before I start. I'm using a pretty colorful background here. Now once I start painting, and I didn't talk about this earlier, but I laid my palette out using my primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. And throughout the process, I'm going to use complementary colors. If I take and my painting is red dominant, then I'll come back with this complement of green. If my painting becomes real heavy blue dominant, I'll come back with this complement orange. I find that's important for keeping a unified element within my painting, within my work. So I'm going to set this aside and let it dry for a couple of quick moments. And again, I say I have a lot of folks to thank. I'm very happy to have working with me this morning out here on Patio Paint. Some wonderful family members, and one of them has agreed, excuse me, it's a little humid outside here in South Carolina, to work as the model for this session. So if you're ready, we're going to go ahead and start. Okay? All right. As I said earlier, I'm working with primary colors, working outside, so we get a few little bees and ladybugs that come flying by, you know, to help us with the task, which is great. While my canvas is drying, I've got a surface that I prepared earlier. I'm going to use that to begin the process. And I want to thank family. There's nothing like having family. And in starting this portrait, I'm working with paint directly on the surface. I'm not one to try and put in preliminary sketches. For me, it's just about the paint. So I go straight to the surface with the paint. I've grown pretty fond of a pretty loose painting style. I'm a big fan of the Impressionist artists. So in my work, I'm not saying that I'm an Impressionist, but I love that style of working. And my goal is, within the time we have, to finish a really great resemblance. So if I get caught up in the paint process and forget to explain what I'm doing, well, hopefully the image will speak for itself. I love being outside, even though we get the South Carolina humidity. I've already passed. 5 minutes left. Whoa, okay, I've just got the cue that I have 5 minutes of time left. Wow. Time really flies when you're having fun, I guess that's the old saying. And it's flying a little too fast for me. So I think I just better keep working. Because I've got a lot of work left to do. And I only have one canvas. Again, I like using color.
minutes.
3 minutes of time left. And folks, this is going to be a sprint. But one thing I've learned, painting in painting is not a marathon sport, and it really takes a little bit of time. And for me, 15 minutes is not the ideal time period. But as I come to my close, as my timekeeper has stated, 1 minute. I want to say that I've enjoyed the process, and in most cases, I would strongly suggest that you give yourself a whole lot more time to paint. I think my time is up. And
Oh no. You gotta look at my.
don't hit his head. And before I wrap, I want to thank my wonderful model and remind us all to exercise our best. Be safe. Thank you. Thank you.